Chairman, we have a request from the applicant to table this item. He is in the process of working with the City of Laredo's new zoning ordinance. So he asked if we could table that item.
Mr. Navarro, you're talking about item 6A, the request by Felipe Ramirez?
That's correct. That's the one, right, Roxanne?
Yes.
Yes,
first-
that's
correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And he's asked to table that?
He has asked to table.
Do we need to vote on that, Mr. Navarro?
No, just to table.
But time certain or not?
Well,
Next meeting?
we'll say time certain, but he's in the process of zoning, so as long as
Right.
that happens, he probably won't come back, but we'll just time certain.
Next meeting, Mr. Navarro? would
Next
that
meeting would be fine.
Is the P and Z going to be held this month? His application to P and Z?
Yeah. So he might be done, so hopefully by the next meeting, I can ask to have it withdrawn.
Okay, well, I can entertain a motion to table to that extent, next meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion to table to the next meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's go to the next item. The next item is a request submitted by Home Cabinets Incorporated to authorize an exception to the literal interpretation of Land Development Code, Section 24.77.1, dimensional standards by granting a variance to the B3 zoning district lot width and setback requirements on approximately 2,269.47 square feet out of Lot 1, Block 233, Western Division, as conveyed by deed to Home Cabinets Incorporated, recording volume 4932, page 548, official public record, City of Laredo, Webb County, Texas, located at 904 Scott Street, reducing the required minimum lot width from 46 feet to 34.44 feet, and by reducing all setback requirements to 0 feet in order to plat the property. Okay. I'll go ahead and let staff tell us what this one's all about, and then I'll open it up for public hearing.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is Home Cabinets Incorporated owner, Jose Luis Pomar Jr. is the applicant. Jose Luis Pomar III is the representative. Property description is approximately 2269.47 square feet out of Lot 1, Block 233, Western Division, located at 904 Scott Street, Council District 8. The request is a variance from the dimensional standards as required by the Laredo Land Development Code, Section 24.77.1, entitled Dimensional Standards, by reducing the required minimum lot width from 46 feet to 34.44 feet, and by reducing all setback requirements to 0 feet in order to plat the property. Applicant's position: the applicant requests the following variances to reduce the minimum lot width and reduce all setback requirements in order to plat the property, and will not be able to if the variances were not granted. This is the aerial view. This is the zoning map. This is the street view of 904 Scott Street. This is a survey where they're requesting a variance on the minimum lot width to reduce from 46 feet to 34.44. The front yard setback on the east side of the property located along San Bernardo reduced from the required 25 feet to 0 feet. The side yard setback corner, south side of the property located along Scott Street to reduce the required 10 feet to 0 feet. The side yard setback interior, the north side of the property, to reduce the required 10 feet to 0 feet. And the rear setback on the west side of the property to reduce the required 10 feet to 0 feet. Board authority to grant variances. Laredo Land Development Code allows the Board of Adjustment to vary the distance and area requirements of peculiar or unusual circumstances which would prevent the reasonable use of land. And second, to grant a variance in applicable cases that the strict enforcement of this ordinance shall deny the property owner the use of the property for any reasonable use. Staff recommendation: staff supports the proposed variances for the following reasons. The proposed property was subdivided by a divorce judgment on June 30th of 1969. The denial of the proposed variance prevents the applicant to plat the property since the property does not meet the dimensional standards for a B3 zoning district, and the denial of the proposed variance prevents the reasonable use of the land. These are the dimensional standards and the proposed proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Staff, any questions of staff?
So basically, I think you heard what it said, and this is an old property. There is a divorce decree that split the property. This is what the guy has. He, he was grandfathered in back in the day, but he lost that because they stopped doing business there for over 6 months. So they lost it. So then, when they came in to ask for a meter, building said, well, you lost your grandfather, now you have to plat. Well, they don't meet any of the dimensions. So this is a long process of just trying to get him to where he can do something. So this is not the end, this is just the beginning.
Mr. Navarro, am I to assume that he'll probably come back and the first thing he's gonna do is apply for a building permit?
No, the first thing he's gonna do, if he was granted the variance, is to plat the property. Then after he plats the property, he's probably gonna have to rezone the property, okay? And after rezoning, and that's, he has to go to council for that. Then after that, then he'd probably go in for a meter, an electrical meter, and he was gonna do some repairs. But that's probably the extent of what he could do on this property. It's very minimal.
What is use it for now?
Well, Mr. Chair, it looks like we got some folks here.
Let's finish with staff, and then I'll open up the public hearing.
I just have one question for staff. 1306 San Bernardo is the other portion that was divided by a divorce decree. Did you inform them that they might as well, since we're here?
Absolutely. It's a separate owner, and he's probably gonna have to go through the same steps. But he hasn't, he came in once, he tried to change his zone, but he wasn't successful. So he's probably gonna come in, he has the same, divorce decree, he's gonna have to do something there. It's very minimal what they can do. Because of the parking situation, right now the zone is B3. He would have to come up with 9 parking spaces. He doesn't have access to the parking that's around it. So he doesn't meet the parking. So the suggestion was possibly to zone or request a zone to the Central Business District, which would allow him to do something there without parking.
The parking around it, that's IBC, correct?
That's
Yeah.
correct. And then the 2 streets, Scott Street and San Bernardo, are considered arterials? Arterials?
And they have meters, don't they, Mr. Navarro? They have metered parking?
Not on San Bernardo.
No, they don't, because they have a bus stop, I believe,
Oh, okay.
stopping there, so there's no meter. And on Scott Street, there's no parking there. This is a complicated case. It's what it is, and it's 2 separate owners, so it's not the same person.
And both of these they occupy the whole lot, like the buildings. I know 1306 does, but 904 also, it just sits on the structure's basically the whole lot.
That's correct, and the building's right on the property line.
I grew up, my dad's office is 2 blocks down.
Yeah,
Since
you know exactly what I'm
1983,
talking
like,
about. Yeah.
I know that place. But there's no way, it's exactly 2339, it's 2339 square feet.
That's what the survey
That's
showed.
what the survey said. We had them do a survey of the property.
So it doesn't even fit on the R1, nothing, like it's no.
No.
How does it fit in the CBD, Mr. Navarro?
It'll fit in the CBD, well, let me take this back. Because of this variance, if it was granted, he would be able to plat. So if he could plat, then he would have to propose something that fits into the CBD. If you understand what I mean, he would have to come that way.
Right.
So the other way, but really, that's the only way he's gonna be able to work with the parking situation, because that's the only, zone that we have that doesn't allow for parking.
Or doesn't require parking?
It doesn't require parking. Now, he still has to work on the zone because CBD, at Central Business District, it's usually kept south of Scott. Okay, this is on the other side of the street. So we're still working on that. So it's a process.
Do we have any other questions of staff?
Real quick,
Mr.
Mr.
Rodriguez?
Chairman. So what you're telling us is that if we approve to remove or reduce the setbacks, then it's out of our hands. He goes and try to get a miracle, because I don't really see it.
No, actually, what you're doing here is allowing him a chance to plat.
Okay.
Because he can't even ask for a building permit
Right.
because he's not platted.
Platted.
So we wanted to at least get platted, so he has the opportunity to go in and let's say he wants to just fix repairs. Just repairs, not remodel, but fix the roof, and he wants to come in for a building permit. Well, they're not giving him a building permit because he's not platted.
Okay, I got it.
That's where he's.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So move.
Second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody speaking in favor or against? If you could come up to the podium and present yourself.
Yeah,
It's
just
right in the middle. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Pomar III. I'm representing my father, who's the owner of Home Cabinets. And it's just in regards to the property, 904 Scott. We bought this property not really knowing all the situations that we were going to get into. But basically, it's just what we're trying to do. It's going to be the business office. That's what we want to do. And we're in the process of getting started, but unfortunately, we can't even as much as paint the building outside or put the roof in. We're just kind of stuck in that situation right now. And I think it'd be a benefit to the city that you guys help us contribute more to the beautification of the city. It is in the downtown area, and I think it would help, so I think that'd be a benefit for the city. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me as far as.
What kind of business is it?
What was that?
You said a business, what kind of business?
It's a cabinetry business. So we were planning on using it as our main, showroom. Kind
A
of
showroom or to assemble cabinets?
Oh, no, not to assemble
Too
cabinets.
small, right?
Yeah, no.
So it's a showroom, so you're gonna
It
have.
should be a showroom. So it's gonna be like our main office where people can go and visit, choose our things.
You're gonna remodel and redesign the whole thing?
Well, at least it could be presentable. The way you guys saw the picture right now, it's not to the point where
Can we get that picture up there, please?
IBC is currently getting remodeled right now, and it's looking nice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And if you look to our building, it's very dilapidated. It's gonna fall apart at any point. Right there in the little entrance you see to the two-story building, there's currently a lot of vagrants, homeless people that stay there overnight. And it's kind of dangerous. We've gotten assaulted there a couple times at night because we go by to check there's no one breaking in or anything. Right now, I think we wanted a meter so we can put light outside, at least at night,
What is, there's 3 buildings I see there. Is that third building, that yellow one over there with a flat roof, is that yours too?
No, that's 1306.
That's 1306.
That's
Okay, I get it.
1306.
The other.
So it's right up against 1306.
So the 2 buildings I'm referring to is gonna be the dark gray one and the 2-story orange one.
Is that gonna be, the two-story orange gonna be residential?
No,
That's B3.
I know what it is, I'm just asking. That looks like a residential apartment.
Yeah, my question is, you don't have any kind of, are you working with an architect right now?
we were working with someone, cause we did, apply for permits and stuff like that, but at the moment, we're not working with anyone, we're just stuck in the process.
Is the information that you've been given from the city that if you don't get a variance from the BOA, you're not able to get a permit to do anything because you can't get a plat?
Yeah, pretty much, we're kinda stuck, I mean,
You haven't tried to weigh any other options for the property because there are none?
yeah, I'm just in the war, I need a plat to work, but I can't get a plat because of the thing, so I just can't do nothing, really.
What is it now? What is the building being used for now?
It's abandoned.
It's abandoned?
Yeah, there's nothing in there. There's no
It
electricity, there's
used
no
to be
water.
a video store at one point in time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know right where you're talking about.
I don't want to say one time, but.
And what type of video?
Yeah.
So when did you buy it?
2020,
2020, so you've owned, and it's
December of
been,
2020.
and it's been abandoned since
It's been
when you
abandoned
bought it.
since
And,
before.
and so you can't, at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, you cannot even connect a meter even if you want to rent it out, right?
Correct,
So you can't really do anything at all with it, even if you wanted to.
correct.
Okay, because the clause exited or terminated your grandfathering in, right?
That's, to my understanding, yes. That's how
So
it is.
therefore, you have no alternative economic use for it.
Correct, yeah. At the
Only
moment,
thing-
there's nothing we can do to it.
The only thing you could do is knock it down and start again.
No, you can't even knock it down.
No, we can't
Build
knock it
anything.
down because
Can't even knock it down?
we wouldn't be able to build anything because we don't meet the variances.
So the
Well,
only
if you
alternative
knock
is
it down,
to
you can build something that meets the variance, can't you?
there is nothing that makes
There's
it.
nothing.
The only thing he could do is just remodel it.
No, he can't even remodel it.
Can't-
They
he
won't
can't
give
do
you a
anything.
permit right now.
He can't destroy the facade and start over?
He can't do anything.
So what are you gonna put, like picture windows,
tell
a
you-
showroom, you said?
What was it?
You're gonna make it into a showroom with windows or what?
No, cabinets. So we build kitchen cabinets. That's the trade that my father's in.
But you're going to put like big picture windows to show the cabinets. from
The way that it's gonna stay.
Okay.
That was it already has windows, and if you see the front part, it already has.
Okay, I'm confused.
Okay.
Pretty confused about
You
it.
can't, so you can't demolish it, right? You can't raise a building because it doesn't meet the setback rules. My question is, you can't even change the facade of the building?
You can't touch it yet. No, one of the sad parts about this
Well,
was.
what happens if we do approve it, then you can change the facade?
So then he goes through the
then
next
he can-
process.
He'll go to the P and Z commission, he'll get platted, his engineer will plat it, and that'll allow him to get permits so he can go in and.
Okay, let's
and
assume that all
repair.
happens. Let's assume that all happens, that we say yes, and the next person, P and Z says yes, and so forth and so on, and he gets his ultimate way. So what you're saying is that at that point, he can change a facade to the building?
You can change everything.
Yeah,
He can
do
even
repairs.
demolish and raise it?
because we granted the variance.
Yes.
Got it in the
Because
plat.
Okay, so, all right, those are my questions.
And what had, the frustration on this was, the assumption was by an inspector that the parking lot belonged to him. So, right. So they were given the building permit. And that, if you look at this picture, you can see there's new windows. So they actually went in and started, repairing, I guess, 8 months into it.
Yeah, early 2020.
And then they came back and said, no, wait a minute, we gave you those permits in error, and stopped everything. So, then this is where we are, it had to come this way.
Because of parking.
Correct, because he didn't have the parking for B3, so they realized that that wasn't his property, the property's too small, it's not platted, so they pulled the permits saying, we gave you those in error, and have put him through this process.
Whose parking lot is that right next door?
That's gonna be IBC.
IBC wraps around this building, with parking.
I could show the area.
This is catty corner to IBC on Scott, the main office for IBC.
ABC Bank.
Catty corner.
Across the freeway?
No,
Okay.
this, on the.
Scott and San
west side.
Bernardo.
San Bernardo. And so that's why we're here, to try to straighten this all out.
I mean, I know this is putting the cart before the horse.
Mr. Leon?
I know this is putting the cart before the horse, but I would like to see, I don't know how much, if you do go through the process and it's all approved, and you get to do what you want, you know, I mean, I think it's a balance between, you know, trying to beautify Laredo, trying to increase the tax base, and trying to get the vagrants out, you know, helping IBOC out at the same time. But only if you make the building more presentable.
Yeah, well,
So I would, like I said, it's probably putting the cart before the horse, and only you have to spend money on it. But, you know, maybe having some sort of like simple artist rendering or something to see what you're gonna do with it. I mean, you know, we approve it, we're gonna assume that you're gonna, you know, beautify Laredo, right? I mean, by making it presentable for that major thoroughfare. And next to IBOC, you know, multi-billion-dollar company.
yeah, I mean, it would be to our benefit if it looks nice too. It attracts more people. That's all.
Yeah, but we don't know what you're gonna do, so it's like I said, it's a cart before the horse.
But Matt, what we do know is if we do nothing, it stays like that.
Yeah,
Well, I know that also, I know it can't get any worse. I mean,
Yeah.
it won't get better.
And if he has no reasonable use, then that's where we're supposed to step in to say, if there's no reasonable use, we grant a variance.
right.
The problem is we don't get to.
We don't, there, after the fact, yeah.
We don't always
That's
get, we don't.
always
always
been
get
a
what we
problem on
want.
this board. We don't get to, you know, check later to see that they complied. Compliance is by staff, more or less. So,
Yeah, then it's just a
we have to just look at it and
Shoot
say,
from the hip shot,
is he going to be able to have a reasonable use of the property without us?
Yeah, in its current condition.
And without us,
He has no
I
use.
don't think so.
Okay.
Once the once the meter got the 6 months.
Yeah,
shut down,
6 months
he
for
can't do
cessation.
anything
All right.
Other than let it rot.
That's fine, I've heard enough.
Well, any more questions from?
Let me make one, Mr. Chairman, real quick. You were right about the assumption. If we move the limits and we cancel the setbacks, he can always come back, remove that, and rebuild at the limits of the property. Now, would that be helpful for the community? I think it would, because then we will have a new structure. Would that be helpful for the taxes? Yes, we do. If we leave it like that, then there's no use for the building. So I believe that since that building being there for so long, now without use, by his own words, I think it's time that we give him a chance to bring it up, because he still has a long way to go through.
Right.
Which I personally think that it's gonna be hard, but if we can give him a head start, then so be it.
And staff recommended it already, right?
Staff recommends yes.
I also want to add on to
Go
that.
ahead. Yes, sir.
Is the city is partly responsible for his problem because they gave him a building permit and he started to do the work.
Yeah.
He's 8 months into it and all of a sudden the city comes to him and says, oh, sorry, you're out. And there's no reasonable use for the land, number one. And number two, the only thing that would happen would be somebody would be forcing him to sell to the person that needs or could use the land.
IBLC.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, if we don't give it to him and he can't get out of the rat trap, he's
Just
gonna have to
passes the
sell
rat
it,
trap on
and he's
us.
gonna have to sell it to IBLC, because there's the only one that can use it.
I think this is a no-brainer for me, but
Okay, well, if no more questions to,
Can I make a motion?
Yes.
well, let's go ahead, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close public hearing.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, as far as that, I'll entertain a motion from the board. What do y'all want to do?
Make a motion to support staff's recommendation and approve the adjustment.
I have a motion to approve the variance, and I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Passes 7-0. You got your variance. Good luck, sir. Clean it up.
Make it look pretty.
Pretty it up.
Make it look pretty. The prettier you make it look, the city's gonna be right behind you with the taxes. Have no fear, the city will get its money.
Not my department.
They'll get it one way or the other.
Can we make, do we need to have it, you guys said yes, we did last time, but can we put it on the agenda that at every meeting to put potential election for chair? So that
Yes.
Louis can be named chair and just get this over with?
Yes, this
No,
was,
we have a vote.
that was an oversight on my part, so we'll have it on the next meeting.
Well, you still don't have, you didn't have a
But,
quorum anyhow.
Mr. Navarro, isn't it correct that we need a full board to have that?
We do, and I've been talking to the council, I've given them some suggestions so that we can fill the seat, and that way we can go ahead and have an election. So I'm waiting for them to nominate somebody so that we can get that done, so you can have a full, what seat? The one next to you.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Mr. Gonzalez,
Who is
yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
He's never shown up to a meeting. I don't know who he is.
And who appointed him?
That would be.
District 2.
District 2. Before her, it was,
Was it her husband?
Daisy's husband.
Daisy's husband.
I don't know if it was him though.
He did it for.
I remember
it. Yeah, what's his name?
Vidal.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but at least it just builds me there. So the one day that 9 people actually do show up, we can.
Be supportive of small.
I'm sorry.
No, sir. All right, well, on that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Adjourn.